I'd be very clear. I'm doing so much stuff, music, everything else, but I never ever forget about what's closest to my heart. Youth Normality is where it gave me the passion to start everything else that came after. The store, the music back up, writing again. All these things had came at the expense of me gaining interest in life and things better than myself at present because of you guys at Youth Normality. I say that because it might be, or it might appear that I have been absent, or I might have been in a situation where y'all were not important to me. To God be the glory, what a good teaching moment. It had nothing to do with me not being attentive and knowing that y'all started getting hungry and y'all started to pay attention, and I got at the height of everything and what everything was going to be, and then it seemed like to the naked eye I dissipated or went away. Right when everything was going, right when the people started coming in and showing, and the views start going from just people that subscribe to Youth Normality, some because they have to, and then, outside influences. See, this is a myth that this is a YouTube channel, and it's really a channel for a group of people to use at their disposal at will. I promise everybody's mom and everybody's family that I will give an outlet, whereas though, because you don't understand placement, then you might not understand the format of Youth Normality. The format of Youth Normality, because in placement, they have to do assignments and they have to gain the ability to go on day passes or home passes, and it's not like just, okay, I just be good and that's it. Nah, you have to physically do things. And now that the COVID virus has basically killed everything, including people, now everything is done online. So basically what Youth Normality is a chance for somebody to look at one of my lectures or speeches or conversations and get credit for listening to a motivational or life coach without having to listen to the life coach. I don't deem myself to be a life coach. I just says that I'm a person who regurgitates his own mistakes into something positive, into something that can gain access to maybe 2 or 3 people, 4 or 5, I'll be happy. 10, I'll be amazed, that really listen and change their lives. And I feel as though, hey, if 100 people did that, that'll be 500 teenagers, maybe 1,000 teenagers that did the right thing. So I don't think that I can do it by myself. I don't think I can rule the world by myself. I don't think none of these things. What I do think is that if it doesn't start from something, then it will end up nothing. Let me get into why I feel as though my absence could be such a teaching moment. I believe that my absence can be such a teaching moment because what you don't understand is I did not go away. I did not forget about y'all. I did not say to myself, I don't have any time for y'all. I did not say, hey, I got all these other things going on. Y'all don't no longer matter. What I said was, now that things are picking up, now that things are most important, now that people are looking, not to say when they was not looking, it was not important, but now more than ever that more eyes and more people are looking and paying attention. I need not to say some bullshit that first thing coming out of my mouth, and I do not need to be addicted to talking to the point where I stop giving messages that meaningful. I stop giving messages that are meaningful. What I'm saying is sometimes when you run out of stuff to say, you need to recharge, rejuvenate, and sometimes quietness and listening is more important than being seen and speaking. I've been going through something and I had to have some victories to come back and tell y'all about victories, because sometimes positivity cannot be in your life to the point of visualization, meaning you will have so many small moments of positivity that you might need to wait until all of those small ones fold up, ball up, press down, mold it together, and equal something worth talking about. Because the best thing I ever heard someone say was, if I don't have anything to say, don't say nothing at all. I paid no attention to that, only to grow up and realize that every time I opened my mouth and I knew that what I was about to say was not good or did not have any positive meaning, I always paid for it. I always ended up paying for me opening my mouth when I ain't had nothing good to say. So something that's hard for me, and it might not have been hard for y'all, but something that was hard for me is I sat down and I shut up and I started to listen. I shut up, I set my behind down, and I started to listen. And when I started to listen, I heard the God of my understanding say, look at you. Stop looking at others. Look at you. I'm about to do something for you that you need to tell these people about. Not their mistakes, not your mistakes. I'm about to tell you, I'm about to do something to you that you can brag about what you've done good for a change. Just don't forget me. Oh my God, God, why would I forget you? I'll never forget you. How can I do that? He said, dude, I know you, just don't forget me. We both laughed and that was the end of it. I am an amputee. I had a bone infection that was so severe that they called me. I was in a car with my mother, and they said, where are you at right now? You need to come to the hospital right now. They said, your Coumadin levels is 9, and that you have some type of infection in your body. We don't know where it is, but it's to the point where when it came up in your bloodstream, your white blood cells was tripled what your red cells was. Because basically that's how you tell an infection. Your white blood cells is will fight infections. And if there's more white blood cells than usual, that means they're at war with something, therefore causing the people to believe you have an infection. Normally, it's like added on. Like the number of red cells, number of white cells, that's too many, you have an infection. This was triple the amount. So whatever it was like dangerous. Close to becoming so much that it started to get in my bloodstream. If it did that, then, you know, I would be really sick. But guess what? There's a catch. I get there, and my Coumadin levels mean my blood, the longer the amount is thin, the smaller amount is thick. Mine was 9 point, it's supposed to be 2. Mine was 9.4. I mean, if I would have got stabbed, if I would have fell, if I would have got a bad cut, I would have bled to death because my blood would not have clotted. Clotting blood is what causes it to stop. That's one thing. The second thing is they ran tests and then the guy came in the next morning. He said, listen, Mr. Washington, I have something to say to you. And I said, what? And I had just had an operation like maybe 2 weeks at the same time at this place. So that's why they was calling me and in contact, because the nurse came out and was taking my blood. And they cut my foot back twice. And it was like running out of real estate, but at least I could walk and I had a leg. And when it all happened, the next day the doctor walked in, he said, listen, if you don't get this operation, you're going to die. You've been on antibiotics for 4 or 5 years. You are on the strongest antibiotic known to man. If you get sick and this infection get in your system and you become something called septic, we will make you comfortable. We will make sure that your family is aware. We will try to get some type of FaceTime or something for you to talk to them, because you are going to die. We have no treatment. Or even you get this operation. What is the operation? We must cut your leg off below the knee. And if you say yes, we're going to do it in 2 days, a day. If you say no, then you must understand that usually this is when people die, when they say no, when they try to get second opinions, and then he left. This was not like the movies where your family is sitting around you and everything's cool, this, that, and third, and you know, everyone's crying, and they're like, oh, we're going to be right here, it doesn't matter. No, these motherfuckers told me I'm just going to die, and they left. And then I went from that to being on a drip to make my blood clot, to waking up the next day, going to the operation room, waking up that night with half of my leg gone. And then they set me down and they said, listen, this is what you're looking at. In about a week or two, we're going to pour this drain out your leg. It'll be extremely painful. We can't numb you. There's nothing to numb you, because your nerves are inside. We don't know where they're at, so we can't numb you. You might feel phantom pain, and your phantom pain might be that you feel your toes and they're not there. Or you need to itch them and they're not there. I'm like, yeah, whatever, that ain't gonna happen. You're looking at 2 months before you get the stitches out. You're looking at 3 months before you start to be able to get out of the bed and get yourself dressed and all that stuff. The surgery was 13 days ago. They taking stitches out of my leg already. They call me Wolverine. They say no one has ever healed this fast, ever. They sending me home Monday. I only been in rehab for 8 days. I've passed every test. I've passed 2 months, 60 days worth of physical therapy in 8 days. Yes, I was in shape before it happened, you know. And surprisingly, I was working out on things like my legs, not knowing why. This, that, and the third. This is how God is. He does things to you, and he forces you to do things, and you don't know why. But if you listen, and if you're obedient, you'll come through it with a new understanding that you need to just listen to him when he tells you things. And I said that quick testimony to let you know that these doctors was running around trying to find an explanation for what was going on. And me sitting here without a doctor's degree or nothing, I was saying to myself, I may not be smarter than these men, but I know the answer. They don't know God. They're running around trying to find medical reasons. They're going around trying to figure out why and how I'm healing. And they asking me, can they do studies and this, that, and the third. And the only study they got to do is about prayer. God works. Most importantly, if you don't have anything to say, it is okay to be quiet and listen. Because you just might hear something that can save your life, instead of saying something that will destroy another. It's your boy Decopbo. Remember that I love you not because I benefit from it, but because I'm a person of love, and that's just what we do. Also remember that if it's a reason for you to wake up and be happy, rethink. You can have a happy day and a good day on purpose. Not because you got a job or you got that boyfriend or girlfriend that you thought you needed, but because you woke up and there's a lot of dead people who take your place. Last but not least, if you are miserable and you know the source of your misery, and you choose not to destroy or get rid of the source of your misery, then you are not a victim, you are a participant, because if you shall or should remove the thing that which or the person in which that makes you miserable, you would in turn remove your misery. To God be the glory. Decopbo 1.